What's going on, guys? It's Noah just checking in, and today I wanted to address an issue that is brought up via message to me all the time, and it is something that has affected me in the midst of my trying to recover from major depression, anxiety, depersonalization, low testosterone, mood disorder shit that I base this channel around. The question and/or topic is the issue of trying to work when you're battling depression, anxiety, low T, mood disorders, mental illness in general. A lot of people feel really trapped in terms of their livelihood, in terms of their day-to-day activities, and whether or not they should be working, how much longer can they possibly maintain their job. Obviously, some people's jobs are significantly more stressful than others, but nevertheless, and believe you me, if you are suffering mood disorders, especially bad, if you're in severe states of mood disorder like depression, anxiety, the most basic and simple of tasks can seem truly overwhelming and insurmountable, and they're enough to put you over the edge for some people. And I don't necessarily mean the edge like mortality or anything like that, in terms of like the edge being death, but they can be too much, and they can definitely not help matter. So if you were to ask me if it's important to try to work when you're battling depression and anxiety, I would answer it one of two ways. First of all, I would say that if you are battling severe symptoms, if you are in a really, really bad place where life is barely worth living to you, your symptoms include a type of lethargy that would make it hard to get out of bed to the point that you don't know if you can move, almost like catatonic, and you're suicidal, and you basically, if you're at a place where you have to put 99.9% of your focus into just surviving, then no, I don't think it's important and or necessary to put too much stock and or stress on yourself to try to work. You have to understand, a lot of people, they might pull the card of, well, if I don't work, how will I pay for my apartment? How will I, support myself? How will I stay afloat? Listen, if you're severe, and be mindful of the fact that I'm saying that, if you're severe in your condition, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what monetary concern you may have, because your job is no longer to pay the bills. Your job is no longer to go buy shit you think you need. Your job is to stay alive. And that's dramatic to say that, but it is the truth if you're in a severe case, clinical depression, anxiety, what have you. Now, that being said, because there's options for you, sorry to jump back on that, you don't have to worry about money. Money won't matter if you're going to end up honestly feeling so suicidal that what's the point? That's when you lean on friends, family, and or anybody. You just make yourself known that you're desperate, you need help, and you don't worry about work. Work will be there. Your job is to stay alive and get more mentally stable and to do whatever that takes. And if work is not something you can pull off, then trust me, it'll be there when you're ready. Your job is to stay alive and get better. Now, that being said, there's a whole larger spectrum of people that are not severe, but they are mild. Forgive me if I'm sweating, by the way. It's so freaking hot in my apartment right now. Anyway, they're mild to moderate in their condition. And I'm not saying mild to moderate isn't painful. I'm not saying mild to moderate depression, anxiety, mood disorder issues aren't overwhelming and stressful and just horrible. They're horrible. They really are. But most people would benefit from trying to work if they can. For most people, work is annoying, boring, stressful, a hassle. I mean, a lot of people don't have jobs they really like, but when you're in a bad place in a mood disorder and or you're trying to overcome clinical depression, it's really important to have structure. It's really important to have something to go do. So even when I first, after a year of not being able to work, by the way, when I was in the worst stages of my depression, I couldn't work. It was impossible. I literally could not wrap my head around anything but trying to stay alive one day, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time. But when I became stable enough to do more than just a couple basic things throughout the day, such as make my appointments, maybe get up, make my bed, try to feed myself, stuff like that, I didn't think I was ready to go back to work, but in hindsight, when they finally pushed me back there, providing me something, an outlet to get outside of myself, was pretty invaluable. It becomes more of like doing what you need to do rather than what you want to do. So the value, what I'm trying to say is there is a point, there's a purpose, there's a function to going back to work as soon as you feel like you are able to. You're on your feet enough. You don't have to be feeling well, trust me. You can still be battling depression, anxiety, depersonalization. But as soon as you can work, try to go back to work. Do it slow. Work part-time, work whatever you can, but if you have a situation where you can go back in and actually try to be productive and useful, even if you feel like shit, it'll take you out of yourself. It'll provide you an opportunity to basically prove to yourself that you can still be productive, you can still do things, and those little things, while they seem small and inconsequential in their own, they really do build up, and they add up, and they can lead to a better sense of well-being while you're trying to get more stable from your mood disorder, while you're trying to get used to medications and or holistic options or whatever treatment you're doing. Time takes time, so if it's a matter of waiting for that mind to repattern and heal on its own, which it always just about does and usually does, work can just be a way to escape your own brain and try to get outside yourself. Most people, they might struggle and they might do really poorly on their own, but they go to work and they're able to just like find a side of themselves they didn't even know was there because they're suffering. They're going through mood disorder. So that's it. I don't need to prolong that. Don't need to babble anymore. But those are the two scenarios. I think if you're severe, you stay home. You take care of yourself. You stay alive. That is your only job, in my opinion. And you reach out and you cry for help, and you get that help, and you don't sweat what am I going to do about money. You trust me, just stay alive, lean on other people. When you get better, you can make it up to them. And then when you're in that other place where you're mild to moderate, try to work if you can, even if it's just part-time. And if you can't work, try to volunteer, and if you can't volunteer, try to find an outlet that you can get outside yourself, because when we're alone, especially once we get out of the place of being like totally incapacitated in mood disorder, but when we're by ourselves, the chance for rumination, the chance for spinning thoughts, the chance for basically making matters worse, it's there. And being inside your own head when you're battling, like I keep saying, all these disorders, is like the worst place to be alone. So work puts you around people, work forces you to think outside yourself, and work allows you potential distraction and pause from the suffering you're in. So, and then obviously you build towards a place where maybe it's okay to be at work. Altogether you feel good. That's the goal, mental health recovery. It's what we're all working for, it's what we're praying for, what we're fighting for. So that's my thoughts on the topic of work when you're depressed. Hope that was useful. Hope it was helpful. Thanks everyone for all the support and the great comments and personal messages. I'm trying to get back to absolutely everybody, so if you haven't heard back from me, I promise I will get back to you. Otherwise, we'll do another video soon. I'll be updating you on my progress and what's going on with me and my condition and my day-to-day life battling my mood disorder. But yeah, otherwise, we'll do another video soon. Take good care, guys. And thanks so much for your support. Believe you me, if you are suffering mood disorders, especially bad, if you're in severe states of mood disorder like depression, anxiety, the most basic and simple of tasks can seem truly overwhelming.